Hey guys, I'm Valek. So in today's video we're going to talk about our challenge from 0 to 1 million, and on today's video specifically I'm going to give you updates on what has been happening ever since March till right now. So when we did start that challenge, the first thing that we did talk about um, was to get a job. And if you're new here, you should know that on this channel we do talk about investments. We do also talk about music. I do also upload videos on anime. So if you're interested on that, you could hit the subscribe button. It would really help in supporting the channel. So for the most part, when we started the challenge on March, I did look for a job, just like I told you guys I was going to. And when I did get that job, it was for the most part a good one that I've had in a very long time. And I did like the job, though the job did have a few challenges that I did come to understand later on. And I won't speak illy of anyone in this video, since for the most part this video I was creating it to be a creative video and to be a helpful video for everyone out there, everyone who needs to be able to make money. So for the most part, it has always been something that has always been very challenging for everyone who's coming from a low background, or a slow moving background, if we can call it, starting from nothing all the way to making a million, which can be a far-fetched dream for most people. So I did create this challenge in this video to be able to show people from East Africa specifically and other third world countries that possibly it could be possible to be able to make that amount of money. Though I have gone through challenges. Right now as we're speaking, it's on September 13th, which I'm going to upload this video on, I don't know, I think tomorrow. And the channel has been slowly progressing, if we can say it, and we are hoping all for the best. So on March, something that I didn't disclose, I had been working from January all the way to March, so I had gathered quite a significant amount, if I can call it that. I had gathered quite a significant amount, which were plus 30. That is plus 30,000 when we started the challenge. When we did get to the new month, I was thinking that I was targeting 100,000, but as I did tell you that I was going to be using trading to be able to help me, the worst thing that did happen is we rinsed it all. That was the worst thing that did happen. So all the profits that I had made were rinsed by March 31st, and I do feel kind of off, which I can say low-key is very bad. That was on March. On June we did try again. Now once we had completed that month, we invested 70% of the amount that we were receiving, and luckily by 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 good luck we were able to make 70% in profit, which is a good thing on July. But then that amount of money I had specifically intended to just do some few things for myself that I did see I didn't have, like buy clothes, buy a few stuffs, like the clothes you saw me wear on the video. I had bought it from that. So on July was when we actually did make the most amount of money. I was expecting to actually hit my target, but I was expecting to actually hit my target by the end of this year for us to actually make 100,000. But right now, making the most amount of money I did make while trading, that was a plus. I did make almost 50,000, if I could say it. I will post a screenshot to show you guys the profits. P&Ls, and all this was done in on Deriv, if I could say so. Though I am not affiliated in any way, though I will maybe create an affiliate link, maybe that you guys can be using to deposit, to actually create an account and do the rest. So that one was a plus 50,000 that we did make on July. I did buy a few goods. I bought 2 goods, though the goods I will tell you later on. 38, and out of this 50,000 we were actually able to keep 216, which I can say we did make $450 plus PNL, but we were able to keep 216, and 150 was spent at work. That is 150 was spent going to work. So the most amount of money that we did make, or we were left to keep, was almost about 90 plus. On August, this is where now the challenge actually did start to hit me hard. As I told you, the job that I was working in put a lot of strain on me. That I was working in on August did put a lot of strain on me, that for the most part, because the previous place that I was working on wasn't paying that well. It was actually paying 7, so it wasn't paying all too well, but at least it did have peace. On this new job that I did get, the people there weren't that friendly for the most part, and the person who did take me there for that job, because he asked me to leave the place that I was working in for better sites, which was a mistake, because I had planned on other things. I had planned on possibly doing trading full time, and when I did make this amount of money, I did make 50,000 in my head. Every single month it was always, oh, you're going to leave work, oh, we don't want you here, oh, we don't need you here, all because I was brought in by the boss, which is still a good friend of mine, at least I think. But for the most part, after everything that they have put me through there at that place, I don't think that I would. Right now, I don't really feel at peace. I don't really feel at peace with working for people anymore. Which, for the most part, right now, I was hoping to actually get an investor, and I did have one. I did have an investor who we had talked about a few things, and I'm waiting for his call right now. Hopefully he's going to call, because I do want, hopefully this video gets to reach a lot of people. I am looking for somebody who could help me in financing projects, dealing with real estate, also help me in financing projects. I would like to actually start my own orphan, what can we call, my own children's home, which has been a dream of mine. But for it to actually work, I need to have a lot of real estate. I don't know if I will. I don't know. There's a lot of, right now my head is going, I'm going through a lot of things right now. I can't genuinely say that I am totally depressed, because I am trying so hard not to be, but I'm finding myself thinking a lot. I'm looking at the mistakes that I have made in the past. I'm looking at the mistakes that I have made of recent, and it's pushing me to a point whereby I do feel like I just don't know. So for the most part, I can't say that the challenge is over, but I just need right now, if I could get just a single investor somewhere out there who could help me invest, who could not help me invest, who could help me with financing, which for the most part is the biggest problem that I am having right now. It could really push me to the next level, because I do have projects that I am thinking of starting, but all of them fall under all of them fall back down because of lack of finance. I don't have that strong backing of finance, which I am hoping people say that you could meet people in very mysterious ways. Hopefully that investor does call back, and we can get actually the funding that we do need. So I did try one thing. I did try to text Togi, which he's an influencer. Most of you guys know him, but I highly doubt he will respond. But if there's anyone seriously out there looking for someone to invest, I have projects. We are not going to start from a zero partnership. We're not starting from a zero partnership. I do want somebody who would be able to invest, and we can have maybe a 70-50, a 70, not say 70-30 split from the profits, whereby that person would be able to get 70% out of the real estate investment that we are going to make. And I am going to put in something also forward, which will give me a 30% interest P&L on the profit that we do get to make out of this. So for the most part, the projects aside from the children's home and the real estate investment that I am thinking of starting, I would like also to start my own hardware. I am thinking of starting my own hardware and a supermarket. Those are the two things that I do think do generate liquidity, despite their P&Ls being much lower, not being much lower, but being recurring. You would be able to retain at least some good amount of profits from the investment itself, because for the most part, if I don't get that large investment right now, I'm not really looking into much. But if I do actually quite get those things that I am looking for, they have for the most part have three rental flats. Three rental flats. We're talking about three rental flats that generate almost 1.5 million. We're talking about 1.5 million each. So that would be almost 3 times 1.5, which will be equivalent to almost 5 carry 1. That's almost 4.5 million a month. And we do have a hardware. Say we do invest 2 million, but all of this would be under one company. All of this I would like them to be under one company, and for them to be under a company that will be under a sub company, meaning that all the profits retained, the amount of money that is kept from here, will still be under that sub company that will be running. But on these rental flats that I would like to start, for the investor who is out there are also things that I would like to entail inside to make them as modern as possible. And for the realistic clients, I would like that for these rental housings to actually have schools inside, for these rental housings to also have a place for people to actually go and pray. I would like these rental houses to have a supermarket and also a hotel inside. Why do I want this? This would be able to help us maximize the profits that we are actually going to make. And if possible, the school will also be, we would be creating employment for a lot of people. That is why I think that these projects of mine are actually $1 million projects. These are projects that could generate millions and millions and millions of money. And I know when I say it in this way, somebody would be like, oh, yes, they can. It can be possible. There are houses that can be built in that way, and I do believe that I will one day be a proud owner of that. And if we do actually start these projects could lead to a massive inflow. Say out of this 4.5, say the person generally invested, we're talking about um, we're talking about 200 200,000 200 to $300,000, 200 to $300,000 invested. That's almost that $30,000 per house, that is per flat. So times we talk about it in that way, 200 to 300,000 times times 3, about 3 houses times 3, that would actually lead to we would actually make 600. That's 600,000 that is actually invested into the project. $600,000, meaning each rental unit, each rental flat here, generally a modern house in Kenya could be built with $10,000. Could be built with $10,000. $10,000, this is equivalent to almost 1.3 right now. 1.3. Sorry, I'm talking with the margins of last year. That's equivalent to 1.3. So in those terms, if I am talking in those terms, so that's generally 1.3 million. So out of this 600,000 that we are talking about here, generally this 600,000, and each house generates, each 2-bedroom generates 40. Let's be about margins of 40,000. That is actually very affordable for everyone. 40,000 times 10, because each house, if we're talking about, that is, how many rental units are we talking about here? Yes, times 10. Times 10. And this is aside from the actual businesses that are inside, the actual hotels that are inside, generating the recurring revenue out of it. I don't think that in a single month, if you actually go, this is almost 400,000. 400,000. This is from one side. This is generally from one side, and this one is almost 90 million. Almost 90 million. If you're talking about it in those terms, I don't know if my math is wrong, but I am certain, because I did check what happens if you do provide these services. Most people in rental areas, they if actually landlords could actually know this, that people, we could be able to maximize profits by one, if we could provide services inside, meaning that people wouldn't have to go outside to get the services that they need. They would just have to stay inside and the services would come to them, or they wouldn't even have to walk that far. These places that I am talking about would become gated communities. They would not be just like any other place. I want to build gated communities, and that is why I need serious investors actually. I want gated communities whereby people living there, the only way you can access in is by being called by the resident. I do think that this is very possible. This is very possible. This is very possible here. And right now, I've reached a point whereby I'm feeling I'm at my breaking point at this point. I'm feeling I'm at my breaking point because all these ideas, I'm feeling like they're I don't know if I'm in the right place or if I'm talking to the right people. But one thing I am sure is that this video is going to reach someone who is going to help me. I do hope it reaches someone who is going to help me. Everything under a company which is under a sub company, which would help us to retain 100% of the profits. So I guess that's the video for now. For the worst part, after I got kicked out of that job, I am back to zero. I am back to zero. Despite making all those profits, I am back to zero to a point where I am feeling so horribly bad. You know, for a second there, it did feel alive to actually have money and know that you're actually doing something and you can be able to take care of your loved ones. You can be able to do anything you could be able to eat. You could be able to afford to do it. You could be able to with money. There are no limitations. I don't think that there are. You could be able to travel. You could be able to stay somewhere that's really expensive. And you could be able to even take care of yourself. Go to the hospital at any time if you felt ill. Especially that one. And you could also take care of your loved ones. I know I've repeated this, and take them to the hospital, get off of their bills. Do you know how beautiful life would be if you are able to have your family living in a good house? I know. And for the most part right now, I am feeling so low, spiritually, physically. And I hope I'll just get to look at this video at some point and feel okay. Despite everything that has happened, I am not a victim of circumstance. But if I do speak out, I do know somebody out there will help me. Because I don't think I'm talking to the right people. I don't think I'm in the right place at the right time. Because I'm sharing dreams with people who, you can talk to somebody and ask them, okay, do you know people do drive cars worth 20 million? And that's normal. And then that person would be like, they were lucky, that's not your portion. Or you just work, survive. I don't think that's I genuinely don't believe that. You just tell somebody, can't you see that people live in huge houses, they spend a lot of money that could be salary for others for months, for years. And that person will be like, oh, well, it's them. And I would be like, don't you feel like there's something wrong? Like, don't you think that it's also possible for us to do so? People travel, they go to abroad. I don't even know at this point. I have hit that low to a point whereby I don't know. But my head, my mind, my body, my spirit is fighting so hard not to accept what I'm seeing as the actual reality of things, because I don't believe in what I see with my eyes. I believe that there's a better life out there for me. I believe that it is going to be better for me. I believe that I'm going to reach the right person at the right time, and I'm going to be very successful. And I'm going to be very successful at a young age. So, for the most part, and this is why when I created this channel, I didn't want family members to be involved. I didn't want nearly anyone. I just wanted this channel to be between me and my followers and people who share the same vision as me. And I do hope that it does get to pass for the most part. But it's very, very, very difficult, because when you do talk to somebody and they tell you that, okay, you're talking about your dreams. Well, it's good to dream. Then you're like, it's not good to dream. Somebody out there has done it. It is possible to buy it. I do believe it's very possible to buy cars, foreign cars in Kenya. I do believe it's very possible. I do believe that it's also possible for a young man to actually own real estate and actually have huge real estate for the most part. And for the things that I have been doing, they require large capital, including trading, which I might be good at it, but at this rate, I am feeling like, I don't know, I don't want to spread any negativity out there. But now with the job gone, I had to spend the last amount of money I had to buy food. And my sister is already upset with me right now. I'm feeling so fucked up right now. But I don't drink, I don't smoke. I'd like to have 100% of my time in my own work. Just like that. To actually be there running my businesses, moving from here to there to check on my businesses, coming back from the hardware, going to the supermarket. I do believe I'm a creator of businesses. I'm not enslaved by businesses, and that rich people are meant to inspire me, not to break me down. I'll end the video then.